Today we will be talking about
Erector
Spinae.
I'm Gabe Seraphin.
I'm James Andreessen.
and I'm Hayden Hansen.
Welcome to our video.
The Erector Spinae muscle group is a group of muscles that extends the spine when working concentrically and flexes the spine when working eccentrically. It is also known as the sacrospinalis and extensor spinae group in some other texts. Now, the Erector Spinae group consists of three paired muscles and tendons and runs more or less vertically. It extends throughout the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical regions and lies in the groove to the side of the vertebral column. In the cervical region, it is covered by the nuchal ligament, and in the thoracic and lumbar region by the thoracolumbar fascia. It's made up of three muscles, most medial being the spinalis, and then you have the longissimus, followed by the iliocostalis. So if you were to look at a back, from lateral to medial, you have iliocostalis, longissimus, and spinalis, or I love spaghetti. And if you're looking medial to lateral, you have spinalis, longissimus, and iliocostalis, or spaghetti looks icky.
So the iliocostalis muscles are the furthest from the vertebrae of all the Erector Spinae muscles, which means most lateral. So they are chiefly responsible with assisting in extension and lateral flexion of the vertebral column, maintaining erect posture, as well as bending at the vertebral column to the same side. The iliocostalis muscles' origin points is the lumbosacral fascia and the inferior 6 ribs and ribs 3 through 6, and the insertion point attachment points are the angles of ribs 7 through 12, as well as the transverse processes of cervical vertebrae C4 and C6.
The longissimus muscle has three separate portions: the capitis muscle, the cervicis muscle, and the thoracis muscle. And the capitis are used to hold the head, as well as rotating towards the same side of the muscle that is contracting. The attachment points for the lateral of the top four and its insertion points are the massoid process of the skull, the capitis portion. The cervicis muscles are responsible for bending the top of the neck and assisting in keeping the cervical spine erect. The origin point from narrow tendons from the lateral of the top four and its insertion points are the lateral cervical vertebrae 2 through 6. So that would be 2 through 6 here for the cervical portion. The thoracic muscle assists in the motion of backwards side bending, keeping the spine erect and pulling ribs downward to help with breathing. Its origin attachment point is the lumborosacral fascia, which is not visible on the skeleton, which would be right in the lumbar region, in the pelvic region of the spine. And its two insertion points are the transverse processes and laterally the lower 9 or 10 ribs, just where they begin to curve away from the spine, which is right here, right where the muscle begins to curve away from the spine.
So next is the spinalis muscle. The spinalis muscles are the closest to the vertebrae of all the Erector Spinae muscles and consist of two muscles, the cervicis and the thoracis. The spinalis cervicis origin points are from the lower ligamentum nuchae, spinous processes of C6, C7, and the insertion point of attachment is the spinous process of the axis. The spinalis cervicis muscles work closely with the spinalis thoracis muscle to extend and laterally flex vertebral columns, such as when you try to stand tall. The spinalis thoracis origin points are from the inner portion of the thoracolumbar fascia, as well as from the spinous processes of T11 to L2. The insertion points are the most, if not all, of the spinous processes of the upper T2 to T8. The spinalis thoracis muscles work closely with the spinalis cervicis muscles to extend and laterally flex the vertebral column.
Some facts about the erector spinae is that all three erector spinae are all innervated by the posterior primary rami, and they all work to extend and laterally flex the spine. The erector spinae is the second deepest group of the spine. The only deeper muscles are the transversal spinalis muscles. The erector spinae muscles also are all intrinsic muscles.
So just a quick summary to help you study the erector spinae muscle group. All three muscles are innervated by the posterior primary rami. There's a common action of when they're working bilaterally, they extend the spine. When they're working unilaterally, so left side or right side, you get lateral flexion. And then they work tonically to give you postural support in everyday life. Finally, remember, I love spaghetti from lateral to medial stands for iliocostalis, longissimus, and spinalis. Thanks for watching. The spinalis is just next to the spine, and to work on this muscle, fingertips or thumbs can be used easily. Wait, what is that?